Alright, part 2. Going over your guys' plays for Route 66. Like I said at the end of the last part, this was a really scrappy map. They're playing the Genji, and looking at their team composition, it's all things that we kind of go even with. Our team composition kind of goes even on duels, but Monkey is really strong at enhancing any duel that any one of our DPS wants to take. So if our Tracer was going to be able to flank around and pressure out their swift step, like if our Tracer blinks over to the side and is able to play sneaky, get some pressure, and then maybe even force the Kiriko to teleport over here, then we can go super hard and our Monkey can dive the Kiriko after they've like went over, and our Lucio can like help our Monkey. We just want to, oops, sorry about that. We want to pressure out their cooldowns before we hard commit to a dive. So the Genji's playing very far up. We can start pressuring him out, and once he dashes away, we jump up. That's good. I don't like the fact that we're playing dive and we're all playing up here. We can have our Lucio and our Kiriko and our Tracer all could be like flanking, and our Monkey can just sort of be chilling here, and our Sojourn could be like crouching on point pushing, or we could have our Monkey on point pushing while we heal him from a corner with the other two people flanking. We shouldn't all be playing main as a dive composition. We need to be taking all the space that they're giving to us. We've pushed the card about as far up as we can safely. Like the enemies are being able to poke out our Monkey now. What the enemy teams should be doing here is they should just be poking us out, forcing our Monkey to drop back. Because once we get the card to about like right here, then the Monkey starts to get poked a lot easier. Everyone on the enemy team could be shooting at our Monkey right now, but they're not. And instead their Genji commits in. This is a really big mistake by their Genji. We should have just dove on him immediately. We end up diving on him afterwards and getting that kill. We lose our Sojourn. Happens. They had damage boost. And now we need to choose one of their supports to go on to. Either their Kiriko or their Mercy. We end up being able to kill their Sojourn through both their pockets, but they end up rezzing it. Good bubble. We need to kill one of their supports. We should be ignoring cart, and we should be going after their supports here. We're just kind of playing sloppy. We're winning the fights, and everyone is kind of getting some value, but we're not all playing towards the same win condition here. This point in particular is like really defense favored. This is really a good place to hold. So while the card is like pushing through here, we should be taking space. I love what Griffin's doing here. I want to see, yeah, exactly. I wanted Mav to do that like yesterday if possible. And we can have our whole team play over here. Our Lucios push card as long as they can, and then we can start to take map control. We can have our DPS take far over here, and we could have our Monkey play here, and we could do a coordinated dive onto their backline, or we could even have our Monkey jump over to the right side and have our DPS pincer for them from the enemy side and see if we can pressure their Kiriko or their Mercy, get them to like half health or something, and then commit cooldowns for a dive. It's kind of how you want to play this. We don't all want to be playing and diving from the same spot. You're not punishing their Genji. Their supports kind of seem to be missing opportunities to heal their Genji. Yeah, their Kiriko misplayed that. Both teams Kitsune. That would have been a really good jump onto their Sojourn, but we got Matra Eid, and we could just use our Primal. Nice, we have this. We see the Kiriko first, kill the Kiriko, then kill the DPS, and then the tank. Well played. Could have been better. Could have been cleaner. And then we like take this space, make sure they don't contest. Now, on third point, just like second point, third point is really hard to push into, especially when they're already set up. So winning, what the top players do when they win fights is they start to immediately take positioning. So in this situation, when you've won this fight, like Mav could be just watching this, but also Mav could be like wrapping around here and then jumping up onto this high ground. So maybe he also is stopping a recontest because he can dive on any people from behind them. And also when he like takes this spot, he's ready to dive up and take this, like try to take mega control early. So by the time our card is pushing up to over here, he's already this far ahead. And if they force him out, he can jump back and bubble. But instead of the enemies playing from here and pressuring us, they have to play from here and pressure us. Like just there's a lot of space right here that we could be taking way in advance. Griffin could be doing that a lot too. And J-Star could be doing it as well. We end up starting to take the space here. That was a good jump by Mav, taking this space. And it's going to be kind of hard to take the space from them, but they already control. I'd like to see our supports, just both of our supports, be more active and playing up here. Because our Sojourn can always slide out if she ever gets pushed. And our Kiriko can always teleport to her if she needs out. Okay, we're kite this. Kite this pretty well. I'm not sure if that bubble was necessary. For some reason, I'm trying to remember if Ramatra Ult even gets blocked by shields. I don't think it is. I know Terra Surge is in. I'm not remembering. If it is, then that was a good bubble. But if it's not, then... I love how we're taking space here. Now, the play here is actually not to play in their face, but to take this spot right here, which is something that most teams don't do. Most teams won't take this high ground, and there's one right here as well for this spawn door. Taking these high grounds allows us to play aggressively and push this cart for free, and whenever their tanks walk out, we ignore the tank. And whenever their DPS walk out, we be careful and we might like drop a little bit, then jump back up as Monkey or something. But the real kicker is looking for their supports. Once their support walks out to about right this box, or they start to walk out to over here, we can drop onto them and force them either to back up or force them to use a cooldown. So if our Monkey is able to just jump, not commit the actual jump, but just to walk and drop onto this Kiriko, force her to swift step to like a teammate over here, then we can jump and body block her and try to play for that kill. We want to play. We can't play this aggressive into a team comp with supports that are this hard to kill. Back in the original dive days, back in the day, you were able to just play that aggressive because they didn't have defensive cooldowns. But now Mercy is super hard to dive with her Guardian Angel. So if you were like pressing a Mercy, you have to wait for her to Guardian Angel and then bounce, and then you can jump after her. You can't just jump after her after she Guardian Angels like you used to be able to. And same as Kiriko, like you have to pressure her out. You have to pressure out her cooldowns before you can hard dive onto her. How do we lose those? So we should not have jumped from main. Where did they go? I'm getting confused, so I gotta slow down the speed. So great beat. Kill the Genji. I'm surprised that our Kiriko got burst down so fast. That's really sad. And now that we don't have our beat anymore, I guess we just get owned. That's really, really sad. This jump shouldn't have been onto the Sojourn because she's getting pocketed. And we can't kill... We need to have like really crazy target focus to kill through a Mercy and a Kiriko pocket. Like with the damage nerf to Tracer and with Winston's hard like 60 damage per second, it just gets so hard to kill her. She ends up dying to a railgun, but we were focusing her so hard, and it was in the meantime we lost everybody. When it would have been better to play for map control here. Once we kill this Genji, to like jump onto this high ground and look to pressure their Mercy and their Kiriko, and for everyone else, instead of playing main, to like, if Chad, I don't know if you had your Swift Step. Yeah, you had your Swift Step, so you definitely could have TP'd up and helped J-Star, and our Monkey should have been here too. And our DPS could play main, our Tracer could even flank around and take this high ground and play from this angle. We kind of just turn our brains off and play main versus these guys, and it costs us really bad. J-Star was making a good play, but he didn't get support. And we get the Sojourn through the pocket, but it's just inefficient to dive the DPS that way. Okay, we lose Griffin early. That's totally fine. One thing I'd recommend is, as Tracer, instead of coming through main as a regular team, trying to come over here and blink through here and just set up from there. It's okay to take a little bit more time, because as a team we just get zoned out by Ramatra and pocketed Sojourn and Kiriko. It's really hard to hard dive in here because we don't get to pressure their supports first. But if you're able to flank and put point pressure and make space for the team, obviously you probably won't be able to cap, because since this is last point, it's going to give them that beeping noise, so they're going to be able to react to the C9. And if they react to the C9 and they back up, you can back up to over here, and the enemies are going to have to give up space, and then we can take this space, and then we can play for high ground advantage. Tracer just makes so much more space than she used to in Overwatch 1 because there's no diva to match her. Okay, so we end up trading kills here, and then we start hard diving in. This is a really bad hard dive. There's still people behind. We should be playing for map control. We should be clearing out all the map, all the space that we already control. We should be like stabilizing this, and then we should be taking aggressive space that's safe instead of trying to cut through that process and play for kills immediately. Dive is really strong, not because it plays for kills immediately, but because it's able to fight for space like incrementally, which a lot of team comps are not able to do. Okay, we lose Griffin. We should not be jumping in without Griffin. Again, Griffin has time to set up. Nice. Oh, I didn't even know you could blink, triple blink over here. But we can, while we're waiting for Tracer to flank, we should just be like doing an early bubble and then like right clicking. If they use their overclock like they do here, this is an instant disengage. This is instantly like, okay, or you can, if you want your Tracer to try to C9, you can just drop your bubble here and play the corner like lightly and play around your bubble so that you don't get one shot, but you keep them distracted while your Tracer goes for the point pressure. Yeah, we end up getting killed because we were playing aggressively while they were overclocking and our Tracer hadn't made space yet. If we had just played passively, their Tracer flank would not have been good because we would have had both supports to peel for each other, and our Monkey also would have been able to peel if necessary. But instead we go in the wrong time. Now their Tracer is looking to control his flank. If this is the case, I would still send Griffin over, and I would send a support with him. So either Lucio or Kiriko. Both are really good. Probably Lucio, but like Kiriko is also amazing to send. And then again, we're just dropping bubble and poking while our Tracer controls that high ground. We end up killing their Ramatra ult, and we get a huge overclock, and Keylime carries the fight. We should be taking this aggressive positioning. Instead, we're just playing main. We have to try to out-scrap them. When we're having this brawly fight versus Ramatra, it's often in the Ramatra's favor. We're able to out-scrap them here, which is really good. But even during an overtime fight, what you want to see is you want to have people holding both high grounds. You want to have people holding both high grounds and playing here and taking that slow fight. Even if your Lucio is playing here and is getting poked by both sides, he can probably even like try to like wall ride around and stay flexy, and our Kiriko can pocket him from here, and then we have our DPS holding these high grounds, or like maybe our Sojourn playing right here even, and we have like a monkey on one side and a tracer on another side, and we're just playing the slow fight to pressure out their cooldowns. And once they've used Nemesis for him, they've used Suzu, they use Swift Step, we can start cleaning up the fight at that point.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
So now we're the defenders. Now, it's kind of like the same thing. When we're playing a dive defense, we want to be playing for lots of lane control. We want to have like our Lucio holding here. We want to have a tracer holding like a low ground here, and or vice versa. You know, you want to have your like anyone on your team ready to go in at a moment's notice, but also everyone ready to get out at a moment's notice. They're playing the same thing, but they have a tracer and we have a Kiriko. That's advantage. I'm sorry, we have a Lucio and they have a Mercy. I don't know why I said that. It's just my brain didn't work there. But that's advantage to us. We're all playing main here, which is not what you want. You want to keep a Lucio or a tracer here, and same thing. You want to keep someone down here, and you want to have like having your Kiriko able to pocket your tank and your Sojourn. That we can trade damage here, and then your Lucio can read it a little bit and see if we can force out a cooldown from either the Mercy or the Kiriko. Remember, if our Tracer is down here and our Tracer is shooting at the Mercy and our Lucio is here, if the Mercy like Guardian Angels to the Kiriko, and don't immediately go onto her, wait for her to do her second bounce, and then our Monkey can dive and our Lucio can engage, but wait for the two bounces for Guardian Angel. Mav takes space here, which is good, but we have so many people just playing from like this little spot. We really shouldn't be doing this for dive. We should really be widening ourselves out. Griffin takes this angle, which is really good. I love how Griffin is playing this. I think Griffin wins this duel, yeah. Griffin wins that duel, which is huge. And then we're able to kind of just own their backline. J-Star gets ganked by a Tracer, but we end up getting the Tracer anyways. Then we just have this habit of resetting back to like together. Like if Mava is getting out of a fight, he should instead be jumping up to high ground so that our Kiriko can climb up to him and heal him, and then he can drop on backline while somebody plays slowly and tries to contest point. Like maybe our Sojourn plays this corner, or plays this corner and tries to contest point from high ground while our Monkey goes on backline, instead of everyone playing this corner. If someone needs to contest point, you usually want it to be Lucio, because the Monkey controls a lot. If the enemy team was like pushing cart here, I would have our Monkey jump onto a high ground behind them, either this one or like right here. Right here if they're pushing in. Like you don't want to jump onto this high ground and have the enemy team all go point, and then you're like, oh, I'm super far away now. It would have been better for you to even dive this high ground at this point. But kind of react and see to where they're going, and dive onto a high ground behind them so you can diversify your angles. Mav takes this high ground, which is great. It'd be nice if someone else was playing with him. Yeah, these, like, we can go over in slow motion what's going wrong if we want to, but if I recall correctly here, like, yeah, I remember Chad gets picked here. This should never be happening. We should never be trying to duel their DPS before their supports, because their supports should be like who we're pressuring out first. But we have our Lucio, who's kind of just sort of chilling main, not doing much. We have a Tracer that's kind of contesting cart, and a Sojourn that's not really doing much, and our Monkey who's in. We should have everyone like so wide out. We could have our Tracer player playing low ground here even, or our Tracer playing over here, and our like, we should be focusing the supports first as well. As soon as Chad tries to do something, he just gets like shot and destroyed. So really annoying. 1 second, I gotta buy this dude. Sorry, probably shouldn't. Sorry about that. Yeah, so when we lose our picks, they're able to just frag us out.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
So again, we're taking angles here actually, so this is good. This is what you want to be seeing. Defense for us is really strong on this point, and we just want to be careful that we're not getting killed early. That was a really bad peek by Keylime. He didn't need to show his face. He was 1 health here. Gets poked out a little bit by their Sojourn, and we should have Kiriko teleport over and heal him up. And their Monkey misses their jump too, so this was like a huge opportunity. I don't know if you had Swift Step here. You did, so honestly this is a moment we really could have saved Keyline, and we could have kept J-Star healing Griffin so we could deal with this Tracer. But instead we peek and get killed. And Griffin, you didn't need to be so aggressive on this Tracer here. It's good that you're controlling the Tracer, but like if you're half health, J-Star should be on healing like 1,000,000% by the way, because we don't need the speed. But we just need you to control the Tracer here. Like you can just, as long as you're making sure the Tracer isn't blinking and killing your Sojourn, that's all you need to do. So honestly, you don't even really need to peek your face versus him. But instead, we peek, both of our DPS peak at a bad time, and getting rolled. So, this is, I don't know why everyone likes to push out this corner, but really, like, everyone, when we're playing dive, we should only be having like 1 or 2 people pushing out top left. And we should have most people pushing out bottom right here. It's really annoying, I know, but it's so much safer. It's so much better too. And then we all kind of just walk in with beat and just kind of dive from main. It ends up kind of working out this fight. But what we could have done here instead is like when Mav dives this high ground. I don't know if you had bubble here. You did have bubble. So we could have just dropped bubble on high ground here. And had we had people like bottom with him, we could have had our Kiriko teleport in and pressure out their supports and had a fight here. Or we could, if we're afraid of their monkey counter diving and getting our Kiriko, we can have our Lucio kind of come up first and then control the monkey so that Kiriko can teleport in and we can boot the monkey back down. And then have a duel with their supports here first instead of everyone pushing from top left. And then once their monkey kind of backs out, their monkey does a good job of diving onto our Kiriko, but we can switch step away, and we should just be holding these high grounds, and like our monkey can periodically or methodically jump from high ground to high ground to get into a good position. Griffin can find a way. I would be having him get up these stairs since he had to come this way, get up these stairs so we can do a dive onto the supports here. And we should be playing slow while everyone positions that. So Griffin gets up these stairs, which is great, messes up his blink, that's okay. I just don't like how we're all playing low ground. We should be like kind of ignoring the cart here and playing to pressure their supports. Very sloppy. And in this scenario, there's no way for us, if the enemies play it right, to pressure out their supports. Their supports can just play in this cage, or cave rather, and pocket their Sojourn, and their Sojourn can just sort of safely play from here. And the only one that can truly interact with them is our Sojourn, and our Kiriko can like poke for headshots. But Monkey, it's kind of hard to control this choke as Monkey, because Monkey likes to hold off to the side of the choke. He doesn't like to go front face on to a choke. So really, like, we shouldn't really be. This is kind of hard for our team comp to really do anything. The furthest up we want our Monkey to play is like right here, and our Tracer can't really do anything. So really, what we want to happen is to let their supports out so we can pressure out their cooldowns, force them, and then kill their supports first. And while their supports are playing in this like, cave, their team can't really do anything. So we can just be playing pretty safe here. I don't know why our Lucio's over here, but we can just sort of be playing corners and like, you know, just safely like poking for ultimate. Like our Lucio can be poking from here, our Kiriko can like play here and just poke at head height to see if they can get headshots for their ult. Keylime's got a great spot. Mav can also be like right clicking from like right here or something and getting healed from Chad. And Griffin, honestly, like, there's not much you can do. Like, the fact that their Tracer is over here, I would just have you match the Tracer, and maybe one of our supports can also help you push out this Tracer. But really, we don't need to do much. We can just let them push out. And if their supports stay here, like if their Monkey dives out, their Sojourn comes out, and their supports stay here, then our Monkey can do something. Or our Monkey can just bubble off their supports, and we can pressure out the people who dive in. But we don't need to be aggressive onto this cage. We kind of play this pretty well. We didn't really need to commit primal here. Oh, he jumped off. This is fine. And we also don't, I'm pretty sure this fight we use our own Kitsune. Not necessary in my opinion. We kind of don't want to validate their positioning here. We don't want to fight them while they're strong. We kind of want to let them push out a little bit more. So we Kitsune AM, we push in when we shouldn't, and they're able to Valk. And I'll play that in slower speed so everyone else can see what's going on. Like, Chad is just forced to play in this position that's not safe for him. And everyone else is just trying to hold this choke. That's kind of poor space control. We should have our Lucio or our Tracer helping our Kiriko here. But since this Tracer is able to poke down Chad, and he's forced to use cooldowns. Their monkey just one-shots, obviously not on purpose, but that's what happens when we're forced to use our cooldowns. And without our Kiriko, we need to just hard scrap, and we need to push into this cave. We end up getting these kills, but it's like, it kind of feels like we're punishing their mistakes rather than making a good play ourselves. Griffin makes a clutch play, stopping their C9. Mav might be able to get out. Nice. Now we need to start controlling space again. We want Griffin to start getting up onto our high ground to stop their Tracer. Maybe play Griffin or Lucio here, or JSR here. I like how I want some of us to be playing high ground, but I don't want everyone to be playing high ground. I like how Griffin's kind of spreading out a little bit more. JSR does need to be playing point. We have other people who can contest. Let's see where we make our mistake. So their Kiriko is doing a really good job of not playing next, like behind the monkey, and taking that off angle. That's kind of what we want Chad to be doing if possible, or one of our other supports to be doing this, and pressuring their Mercy. Like we might have Lucio even like go all the way here and Reddit all the way over here, instead of everyone playing on point. When we're all grouped together, it just opens us up to different angles, and then we're going to get randomly headshot, and then the monkey jump is just going to finish us off. That's what happens when we play like slowly and together. And then when we try to do an aggressive play, we open up the space behind us because we weren't controlling wide enough space. We're allowing flanks to be taken advantage of. I like how Mav now tries to contest this, but too little too late.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Now we're all playing for this high ground control, which is fine. There's not much we can do, like flank wise. We could play over here. This is pretty good, but it's not as strong. Like we can all be playing top right here. This is not that bad. We are pushing in before we've pressured the supports, so we need to be really careful here. We dive out. This is good. We lose our Lucio. So they're doing a good job of pressuring our supports with their Tracer, getting J-Star down to about half health, and then their monkey dives in and finishes off the kill. That was kind of what we want to be doing. And if we can't do that from here, if Griffin's not able to like set up on this high ground and do that from behind, then we need to give up space and have like Griffin play here or something and Mav play right here or something, and just wait for them to walk in a little bit and contest them on their off angles so that we can try to do that to them first. During Valk, things get really hard. So Valk is like the most annoying thing that we need to deal with their team composition. That was a huge skill. When they're Valking, we either need to single target focus really hard to try to burst through the Mercy healing, or we need to just kite it, which I think is a lot more consistent and easier to do, especially if we're already in good positions. If we're all playing safe positions, then like we don't need to worry too much. So they end up rezzing and Suzuing, and we end up getting the kill on the Mercy anyways. Really sad that Mav bonks his head on the spot here. But this was an opportunity for us to dive in onto the Kiriko because she used her Suzu. Since the Kiriko had to be much safer because they already used Suzu, they had to back up, which allowed us to kill their tank. So we ended up still getting value. If we don't like playing on this high ground, there's always this one. Like we can chill here and give up a little bit more space. Taking a little bit of damage to farm our Kitsune. This is good. Griffin didn't need to drop here. Huge headshot by Chad onto their Kiriko, and then Mav is able to pressure their monkey a lot more by himself because we got that pick on the Kiriko. We're able to outfrag them. Nice, nice. And we end up winning. So sloppy, but we still outplayed them. Sure this is the one. And then I'm gonna go over just the control center. I assume that's the annoying point. Oh, I'm pretty sure Mav just said that he wanted me to go over the annoying point. So I don't really know what that is, so I can sort of lightly check all of them. I'm playing this well. We take point control first, and they take white, which is much better for us. Did we sim TP out, by the way? We did not. Okay, well, looks like it's not that necessary, but we probably could have if we wanted to have Griffin TPS out as sim, and then switch to Tracer. And then we could speed amp afterwards, get to point. I like how we're controlling the space, but remember, we kind of want to pressure their backline if we can. So giving up a little bit of space is really important here. Their Tracer makes the correct play of trying to flank here. It's Griffin's job to match their Tracer. So I've seen Tracer players kind of just like poke around and try to find their Tracer so that we can match them. So we don't have to have our Kiriko dueling the Tracer. We can have either our Lucio or our Tracer. We end up getting kills main, and their Tracer ends up getting our Kiriko, which is not the best trade. It was possible, when we have this like super strong point control, it's possible for us to both win this fight and keep our backline alive. So we didn't control space properly there. A much better team would have been able to stay alive from main while their Tracer is still getting those kills. So we need to really size up the mirror match and make sure that we're controlling space correctly. So their Tracer is looking for probably a flank from bridge. Again, this is Griffin's job to scout out and figure out. If anyone sees the Tracer here, like, nice. So Griffin does that perfectly. Then we're able to sort of win the fight much easier this way. Both teams are coming up on ultimates. This is probably not the annoying point that we're talking about, but because we're doing pretty well here. On the space, Griffin's matching the Tracer. Trading ultimates, trading kills. How do we die here? So they Kitsune first because we lost out on some ult charge due to Chad dying first fight, which really stinks. I really disagree with jumping in aggressively onto a Kitsune because the enemy team is going to be rotating through you. They should not have done this. Their Kiriko played this really badly. If they maybe they took some pressure damage from our Sojourn or something, but they should have been able to push really hard into us. Their monkey ends up doing it. Okay, let's see a big primal here. Oh, we don't need it, I guess. Chad stays alive and ends up getting huge value. Griffin ends up staying alive. Mav holds onto his primal like a good monkey. No way. Okay. That stinks, but their Tracer died, which is pretty funny. Okay. So yeah, we almost played this perfectly. It could have been slightly better, but like, we controlled this point amazingly. Really put into practice what we went over last time about whoever gets the first fight should win. Is it?
5, 4, 3, 2,
Okay. Now they go point first. They're playing a Ramatra comp with Torbjorn. This is really annoying. At this point, like, you guys have, I would say, maybe like a 25 to 30% chance of winning this fight. Like, this was an amazing rotation by their team. I don't know if they sim TP'd out. They did. So yeah, we sim TP'd out too, but they speed amped straight to point, and this was really strong. I wonder if we should do that as well. So versus Torbjorn and Ramatra, we don't want to give them time to cook. We gotta go in. Not mindlessly though. So, oops. So when we jump in here, good jump. Never walk in straight lines like this. Like, we don't know who's playing where, and we want to like feel them out. Like, we should be diving, understanding that we're not going to be able to kill these guys immediately, but just to take like temporary space on point and then try to play like here. Never just walk in a straight line like this. This is going to get... And then, okay, they ended up really just owning Griffin there. That really stinks. I don't think Griffin really made a mistake there, but stinks. Losing our Tracer is just so bad. Great teleport by Chad. A good attempt, but our other teammates had to back out. We should all die here. Yeah, so versus Ramatra and Torbjorn, it's going to be really hard to play Tracer and Monkey. I would recommend switching. We could go Pharmacy here. That'd be really, really good. And then for tank, you could go, like, you could match the Ramatra, you could go Sig, you could go Rhine. Or you go Rissa, maybe. Rissa wouldn't be as good. But, like, Monkey's just so hard to play into this, and Tracer's really hard to play into this as well. Yeah, we're not able to push on the point because we have no space to like pressure out their backline first. Like, we really, what you'd want is to have like players being able to flank on both sides and be able to pressure out their backline. But if we take both sides, they just rotate their supports to main, and they can just ring around the Rosie S, and they could just play around their Torb and poke us out. And we just have to hard dive onto them, and hard diving is just not good. Not versus Lucio and Kiriko. So they're playing way too far out, and then we're able to Kitsune and push in. If we win any fight, it's going to be this one. Yeah, so we cast them off guard. Beautiful. They made like really bad play by playing out. And their Lucio coming out to this like mega was a throw play because he wasn't able to speed his team back to point. Really good job punishing that. Let's hope that we don't make the same mistake. We can play this a little bit, and we have the mobility to jump back to point when we need to. But nice. I like what Griffin's playing. Trying to back up here. Okay, nice counter beat. They're just going to do more damage to our face than we're going to do to their face. So we need to be constantly kiting them back. We played it way too aggressively. We can't really hold chokes hard versus their comp as a Monkey. Honestly, I would really consider switching off Monkey here. Big. We got their Suzu and their Sojourn. They can just Ramatra ult into us, and we don't have beat. This should be one fight for them. Yeah. Okay.
Score. Ready for battle.
Okay, let's see what we're gonna play. Okay. So we're sticking to the monkey. Interesting. I think Ramatra sounds a lot stronger here, or even like a Sigma or a Zarya, like something that's better in closed spaces than Monkey is. But if we're not playing Tracer, then it's kind of weird to play Monkey, in my opinion. We do end up sim TPing when we end up taking this space, which is really good. Now it's just time to play corners and pressure them, which Monkey's probably not the best at doing. Great bubble. Just play this. I just play this corner, not take any damage. Don't help their junk farm their tire. Just play these positions and control all this space. You have to control both. So our monkey player can just sort of play right here, and we can just sort of control this like we are now. We don't need to ever commit hard onto them. Yeah. We take a little bit too much damage, which makes it harder for us to control this space. We try to dive their Lucio. We get their... Griffin just destroys their Ramatra, so it's huge. We don't need to hold this choke versus a Junkrat especially. We're just helping him farm his tire. It's going to be really hard to deal with. It's just... Versus Junkrat on this map, if they have a Junkrat and you don't, you want to minimize how much damage you take to him. Like, so you take like 0 damage to him if you possibly can. Make it so hard for him to build his tire, because their ultimates are going to be how they try to carry these fights. If we have our beat, which we do, we might be able to win this fight, but it's going to be really hard to deal with a tire and a Ramatra ult. Mikitsune, we beat. We still die. And now they're going to be able to Ramatra ult just to clean up everything up. Which they don't do. Why didn't they? They really could have here. They could have just popped ult here. But for some reason he just didn't press Q. Like, there are so many great opportunities for him to press Q, and now the fight is just done. Like, he really misplayed that. So yeah, we still had to use beat because, you know, tire and strong fight, but it's gonna be hard for us to deal with the Ramatra ult this time. I'm just gonna have to kite it. Yeah, we definitely overextend there. Like, it's not good for us to all round this corner, because then they can just speed amp onto us. If they're playing with Ramatra ult, we really need to, like, have everyone kind of just hold right in between these two chokes, like maybe like right here, so that we can wrap around and kite from either side that he pushes onto you, and try to trade backlines and just try to win the fight. Kite him as long as we can and try to trade backlines. They're able to just push into us though. At this point I would consider switching off of the monkey because they have the Reaper. Again, Ramatra Sig or Orisa would be good. We're able to poke a little bit. They kind of have poke advantage and brawl advantage, so this is really awkward. And we just Kitsune and kill them with Overclock. I'll just watch it from his POV. Beautiful. Yep. So there we just had the ult advantage and we were able to win it. Alrighty. So that's what I had to go over for part 2. This should be up only a little while after part 1. Sorry that they couldn't go up at the same time, but yeah, and also sorry that we couldn't do like a normal VOD tonight, but hopefully this will be good enough. If you guys need more one-on-ones, just let me know. But proud of you guys. Good luck in your scrims.